call this meeting to order. This is the first meeting of the City of Farmers Branch Multicultural Task Force. I want to welcome you all. Thank you for volunteering and congratulations on serving on this inaugural committee. It's a very exciting time for us and for this community. I think it's a step that's something that's been needed for quite a time, and we're just excited to kick this off and that you're part of the meeting and the committee, and it's going to be a wild ride. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we've got 6 months, but to get things started, meeting is being recorded. This device is called an OWL. So as you can see on the screen there, those that are talking, it will find you and start recording you. And so I ask that when you're speaking, if you'll speak directly to this, it kind of moves the camera, picks you up. So everything is being recorded. The restrooms are immediately behind you. And so I know we got a lot going on. There's a lot to cover tonight. I think probably the first thing is to go over some introductions. I'm going to start with the staff here. We are all in the Parks and Recreation Department. This committee was formed with, that's pretty much your only city staff that will be on this committee. I will start with myself. Jeff Fairchild, I am the Special Events Manager. I've been in this position with Farmers Branch for about 5 years, total about over 20 years in the Metroplex with several other cities. And so this is my livelihood, my profession, but once again, Jeff Fairchild, Special Events Manager. I'm going to start with this gentleman to my immediate left.
I'm Jackie Biles. I'm the manager over at the Branch Connection, which if nobody knows what that is a active adult center for those that are 50 years and better.
Oh, I like the way you say that.
Oh, I'm here, so I'm the liaison for our senior advisory board. And since this is a multicultural task force first time meeting, I'm just kind of here to make sure we stay within the lines of the agenda topics and we don't go too far off the path.
Some good experience.
I am Megan Bernard. I am the Special Events Assistant Manager. I have been on the special events team since March of 2020. I joined the day before the world shut down. And prior to that, I worked at the Rec Center and have been with the city for 6 years. I am pregnant, so I will be on the committee until this baby decides to come, and then I may or may not be at the event. So just preface with that, but I'll be here and supportive until we get there.
I'm Sandy Carter, and I'm the Special Events Sponsorship and Market Coordinator. So I actually started in Farmers Branch almost 5.5 years ago, running the farmers market, and then moved into the special event side and sponsorship side. And I'm excited to be here and excited to work with both.
And I'm Joan Levy. I'm the Special Events Assistant. I've been with the city since December of last year, worked in a different department, and then about 6 months ago, I moved over to special events and have been there ever since.
All right, so that is the core of your team that will be spearheading this event. Your liaisons, we are the ones that the straw that stirs the drink, basically at the city, and does this event, obviously with the help of others in our department, the communications, PD, fire, everyone has a hand in this event. So it is the city is behind this 100%. And so that's us. And I'm going to turn this now over to the task force. We'll start with Rob on the end there. Tell us a little bit about yourself, why you volunteered to be on this committee, but we'll start with you and make our way around.
Live at 3809 Wooded Creek, been in Farmers Branch for about 8 years. I wear a badge here that says I live, work, play, eat, and have fun in Farmers Branch. And I'm an ambassador for the Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce. That's where I got the idea of that. So I'm very active with the chamber. And then my story really is I have not done a lot of volunteer work. And so I've seen this last 3 or 4 years, joining the chamber got me involved in the city and really became passionate about the community. I moved to Farmers Branch about 8 years ago. I'm a business owner. And I started about 2 years ago, started going to City Hall meetings. And those have been a lot of fun and seeing what goes on in the city. So I really wanted to, I'm a late bloomer coming to my civic duty. But yeah, I'm from Canada, So that kind of made me really become interested in the multicultural thing. Still am a Canadian citizen. But again, it's just been, for me, such an opportunity to live in this great nation. That I think that's kind of some of the reasons why I'm wanting to be a part of this multicultural event committee here.
Great, thank you.
Hey, so hello, I'm gonna try to get this to work, though it's not. It doesn't work when I talk to it, so. My name's Anna Buford. I officially moved to Farmers Branch, like I was telling you guys ago. Me and my husband and my family live on that borderline, where the Tribune Way is to where it goes to Golfing Green Drive off of Midway Marsh, whichever one that is. So we finally officially moved over here. And I'm in a lot of like, the long Facebook groups and things like that. I do a lot of the PTA stuff, Boy Scouts, all that stuff with, the kids and my son and everything like that. And they were posting about, multicultural task force and they needed people to like volunteer. And I didn't really tell anyone that I was interviewing for it because I was like, but it's really important to me, especially seeing aspects, from kids who live on this side to kids who live on, the side and, Addison, because technically, we're really all one big community, whether it's, Farmers Branch area to, the Addison area and all that. And it's really important to me to have all our community come together. And, I think there's a really great opportunity to be able to get more families involved and more families of wanting to do things, within our area and kind of, especially after the past, for 2023. So since 2020 from now, I feel like it's really important to have a really positive event to bring people together versus, everyone just complaining about everything all the time and just all the negativity. I'm really excited to just bring our community together and be a part of that.
Great.
I'm Jana Hoffman, and I'm excited to come alongside each and every one of you. Really am blessed. I love people. My husband and I work with the refugees at Vickery Meadows, and it is the most beautiful opportunity to come alongside refugees that have faced ISIS or political or religious persecution. And I'm a biblical counselor, so I get to come alongside and do trauma care and training. And so I'm in the process of that right now as well. And my husband works alongside businessmen who have come over, from another country that are very educated, entrepreneurs, very artsy, and they come here and because of their language, don't get the job that they had back home. So we get to work with them and help them develop a business plan. Think about coming over here and not knowing our money, how to go to the store. It's just a real honor to come alongside our refugees. So I see each and every one of your faces, and I'm honored to be a part of everyone here, to get to know you better. My heart is for this city. We've been here 17 years. I worked for the city of Farmers Branch for the Summer Sunshine Program. I was a student with the teenagers and worked with Maria, mentor. I love students. We've been in Tulsa for 20 years, worked with students. And so just excited to bring the community together and embrace each other's cultures, our diversity, what we can learn from one another. And that I think the world will take a good look and see that we love each other. That's love is everything. That's the unity. Anyway, ta-da, I'm done.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Villafranca. My husband and I work and live here in Farmers Branch. We are a restaurant business. We own a restaurant called Uquitas at Josie and Valley View, which is authentic Mexican food. And we are, I'm always serving the community, serving my church community. And as a Mexican American, I think that I have like a really good grasp of many of the cultural things that we would typically do. But I also have a tremendous respect for other cultures, and I love learning about other cultures and learning about what other people do. We're actually having our fall festival at Mary Immaculate in about a week's time, and we're going to have like the German band of Texas, and we're going to have like all Hawaiian dancers, and just just great diversity, like something for everybody, rather than making it just like a big, mosh of one culture. I'm really excited to learn from all of you and to get to know all of you and to share, the little that I'm able to contribute to the group. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Alan Ash. I very new to Farmers Branch. I've lived here since 2019. I actually serve in the Sustainability Committee. I am responsible for the water conservation effort. So please go to our website and there are a lot of programs we do. Why did I become interested in horticultural land? It was, I think it was, Oman.
Ma'am, that door has to stay open.
Because it's a public meeting, it has to stay open.
We can leave it cracked, but it has to, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it hard?
Okay. so-
Sorry.
Sorry about that. But it's important, education is a great equalizer. And the more educated we are towards culture, different culture. I'm from India. I came when I was 23 years old. I've lived here 43 years, so you can guess my age. But what I find is the most important part of education is the ability to actually witness different cultures and associate it with different cultures. So I'm excited to be participating in this. I think it's a great step forward in integrating our city and making it better for every culture. So that's why I'm here.
I'm Monica Griego. I've actually been involved in the city. I coached soccer for 14 years. I coached baseball for another 8 years. When my kids went to Turner High School, I actually helped them build their booster club. So I've been constantly involved with the community. My husband's been working for the city now 20 years. We're almost there. And so I really love the community, and my kids call this home, and I feel like it's very important for different representation within, the city, not just the Hispanic culture, but other cultures that are here that I feel that aren't represented equally, or, I had this conversation with one of the councilmen, and I was like, I understand, like, we are a high population of Hispanic, but I feel there's a lot of other cultures in the city that are not being represented. And I hope that by joining this task force and meeting other people of different cultures, of different backgrounds, that we'll be able to achieve that. And so I'm really excited to be here. I myself as well have Mexican cultural roots. My mom's side of the family is Comanche Indian, so that's another reason. Again, it's very interesting mixture that I have in my family. And I always joke because people always talk about, crossing the border, and I'm like, well, technically the border crosses my mom. So. But I'm very excited, and I'm really, the other thing I actually events for like 12 years, weddings. So I'm pretty coordinated when it comes to events and being able to help out in any way or any capacity. I'm really good at layouts, floor plans, you name it. You gave me a blank room and I can just flip it. At the same time now, I'm actually doing construction. I'm in grad school, so if you see me working on something, it's because I have something to do. And I'm trying to multitask with everything because I really do want to be part of it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mushir Mohammed. My wife and I, along with our kids, moved to Farmers Branch in December 2019. So we've been very happy since then. I'm an IT professional, and my wife is a dean at the Buckley Northfield School. I'm Indian by birth, American by choice. And the reason why I wanted to be part of the community is I'm inspired by our faith. I'm a practicing Muslim. In the Holy Quran, it says, "O mankind, we created you from a pair of male and female, and made you different tribes and nations, so that you may know one another and not despise each other." So, my objective is to work with all of you, understand the different perspectives, and also dispel the negative events that people may have. So I'm very excited, happy to be part of this facility.
Hi, my name is Jenny Wong. I go by Jenny, so it's easier. We moved to Farmers Branch, me, my husband and my two kids, summer of 2019, so we're been here, a little over 1 years, and we really like this city, and the kind of like small money of big city. I was, my whole family is really heavily involved with Chinese arts here. So we should give us like any, so you can make no phrase. Not just like, it's a huge, it's like 30, 40 people, but we're just part of it. Yeah, no, first thing. Yeah, we just had this annual bonus, annual concert about 10 days ago at UT Dallas. But anyway, so we're really excited to be here, and I also, I work, I live, I work, and I eat all in Farmers Branch because I work from home.
Hi, my name is Quinn Mercado. I have lived here since 2016. However, before that I was technically honorary. My grandparents lived here, so I was here all the time. Let's see, I have a background in event planning. And I've teamed up with other cities just helping to create and plan with other events they've had. I have a 2-year-old. She goes to preschool here in Farmers Branch over in Mercer Park. And let's see, this is my first time volunteering with the city. I have been wanting to for a while now, and when I saw there was an opportunity to apply to this committee, something sparked in me to apply. So I'm excited to be here and can't wait for us to get this started.
Well, thank you all. Wow, what a group. I mean, it's just fascinating just hearing everyone's background and your interest. This is exciting to hear this. The enthusiasm in the room. I think our city council has done a great job identifying people in this community that want to be here and can contribute. And I'm excited just hearing everyone's background. I think we have a lot that we can do and represent and put out there for this community. So congratulations again and welcome. And tell you what, let's get down and go to work here. So I'm going to immediately kind of start into the first item here on the agenda, B1. And at any time, this is an open thing. I'm running this. I am the chair of the committee. That was part of the council's desire on the resolution. So, but at any time, this is an open forum. Everyone speaks, we're all here, but I'm just the guy running the meeting here. So I'm going to kind of jump in the first agenda item there, discuss member staff expectations. I think our biggest expectation, in fact, you're here, you're excited, and you're engaged and want to be a part of this. That is the biggest thing that, I've involved with other volunteers in my career that are just kind of there and they're not there. But that's that expectation. We want you to be here. You're going to get out of this what you put into it. And that's kind of our number one thing is please come to us with ideas and be a part of this. And let's all just roll up our sleeves. And so that's probably our staff's biggest expectation is to just be engaged, be part of this, have fun with this. We do events. They're fun. They're supposed to be fun. So let's keep that in mind. Obviously, attending meetings is critical. We are on a short thing here with this event scheduled in the spring. So attending meetings will be crucial. Obviously, being at the event is going to be just as crucial. It's tough to plan an event for 6 months and then not be there the day of. We expect everyone to be there and working alongside us. Probably not as many hours as we're going to be there, but we hope that being there is just going to make the experience that much more. So being a part of the event, we have some committees we'll get to a little bit later, participating in that because that is going to be critical because of how a task force meets, the frequency and decisions. And because of the short time frame, a lot of the planning will be done through these committees with the staff liaison, just because we've got to get things moving, the decisions made. And I think obviously everyone, we're all not going to agree on everything. We know that. We can all agree to disagree on things, but, treating others with respect and courtesy and, we're all going to be friends here and it's going to be a great thing. But I think that's probably critical for being a member on this. We're representing the community. They're going to look to us. And so let's just kind of keep that in mind. And what you can expect from us is full on. We're in this, we're vested, we're here, and we're going to make this. Your staff is professionals. This is what we do. This is my livelihood. This is, and Megan's and Sandy and Sam, this is your city council has invested in us and bringing us in here, and as professionals, and we're going to, returning phone calls, everything that we're going to keep this thing moving. So that's what you can expect from us. If you've been to any of our other events, this is what we do. We're there from first one's in, last one's out. So that's kind of the staff expectations, member expectations. Anyone else want to add anything at this point as we keep this rolling? Yes, sir.
When is the event?
We're gonna get to that. We got a lot of event details a little bit later, but we'll cover all that. I assure you. So.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
At city council, were giving a presentation to the council, and then you had kind of a neat PowerPoint where you sort of had the mission and everything of the multicultural. Do you have a copy of that you can send out to us?
I do. Yes, we can get that at post. We'll get that out. So right now, next item B2, unless there's anything else on B1, I'm going to move right on to B2. Obviously important as the meeting schedule and want to have everyone's input. We'll take action on that we want this committee to decide what is the best meeting schedule. In your packet there, I think you have some tentative dates that we have went ahead and put forth for you. We just kind of landed on a Wednesday. It seems based on, city council meetings, we have 4 or 5 park boards that we have to maneuver around. We came up with Wednesday. This room, this facility is open till 9. I think one of the dates on Wednesday was brought to our attention, January. That's actually the 3rd. So I anticipate as we get closer to the event, we'll be meeting more often. But if this is a good workable schedule for everyone, yes.
Standing meeting on the first Wednesday of every month at Mary Immaculate, but I'm available any other Wednesday.
Any other Wednesday. Okay. So it's moving to the second Wednesday of the month. Is
this January 6th?
It's that date it's the 3rd. It's January 3rd was that first Wednesday. If the group.
We had a typo on there.
It was a typo.
Okay.
So.
It doesn't have to be the first Wednesday of the month, obviously, but because it's in the middle of the week, so anything that we're prepping for at the first, between Monday and Tuesday, we can discuss Wednesday. And if we have to make extra phone calls or anything to get a hold of, whoever we need to get a hold of for event planning, we have that Thursday and Friday to kind of, you know what I mean?
Okay.
To kind of take care of that, but also have that discussion in the middle.
Just so everyone's aware, the city has a new work schedule. I'm not sure if everyone knows this. We're doing the 410s now. So we're not, Friday, we are closed. Not our parks department is very small staff. So we are not working on that Friday. It's just something to kind of keep in mind moving forward. I understand. I said, yes. I'm just.
Yeah, there you go.
The only 2, of the last 2, I don't know my school schedule for that, but I'm gonna make sure to try that.
Okay.
But if anything, are we able to do Zoom or any online?
I mean, we can, obviously, it's kind of a last resort, obviously, but that is certainly an option. But if second Wednesday, is that what we're hearing is a good possibility alternative to what we proposed?
For me.
So if everyone's agreeable, at this time, I need a motion on the floor to set a meeting schedule. Obviously it can change, but going with the second Wednesday.
I make a motion to meet on the second Wednesday of every month
Okay, I'm sorry. You said second Wednesday?
Well,
Moving it from the first Wednesday.
we've heard from Elizabeth here that she has a conflict.
My sustainability meeting always meets on Wednesday. Second Wednesday.
How about the third Wednesday?
Okay. We're now into the third Wednesday.
The third Wednesday is art and culture, and the owl is not available.
Okay.
The fourth one.
Is that fourth Wednesday?
So the fourth Wednesday, Jeff, would be in the holidays. It would be Thanksgiving week, Christmas.
Why don't,
Do we need the, do we have to have the owl?
We do,
so why don't you use second Tuesdays?
because they
It's their city council.
count.
Council's
First and third.
First and
It's
second.
first and third.
Second Tuesdays?
Person.
That'd be my next choice.
How about a second Tuesday?
Perfect.
So I think we're probably never gonna have a full-on consensus. We could probably, so I'm not sure at this point.
The second Tuesday.
Fourth Tuesday, you said? Second or fourth Tuesday?
Tuesdays aren't work for
Mine
mine.
too, yes, what, 10 o'clock, that's why. That was every Tuesday on Wednesdays, then, right? So that's why I followed.
What about Thursdays? Can't we start something here Tuesday, Thursday?
Well, the Wednesday there was never a formal schedule that was presented. This is just the tentative as it's, it's got subject to change. It was just something that we floated out there. So Mondays are certainly an option. It's not the best day of the week, obviously, for a lot of us, but Mondays are, if that's, obviously the group needs to all nod their heads. If Monday is it, then Monday's it.
Is it first Monday you're talking about?
I think second Mondays, because you might have holidays.
Second Mondays,
Because if you have a holiday, then.
okay.
Fall, like New Year's.
The second Monday, how's that sound?
I make a motion to move the task force meetings to the second Monday of every month.
Second that.
All in favor, vote for the second Monday of the month, please vote aye.
We need to make sure the room's available.
Well, room's secondary, we can find alternate locations. Any opposed? Okay, that's
Thank you
it.
so much.
All right. Sorry we had to work through all that, and thank you for all your flexibility. We appreciate that. All right, moving on to item B3. This one's a big one. We're gonna spend a lot of time on this. This is where we'll get into a lot of the details. We felt it was important to go ahead and, before talking philosophy and strategy, to at least get some of the details of, such as date and times and locations and things like that, and budget and the site kind of thing laid out. So those are things that will be a given. So we're going to jump right into some of the event details, starting with the date.
That is me. So we are looking to host this event at the Farmers Branch Historical Park on Saturday, March 23rd from 4 to 9 p.m. And our time is flexible. We can start earlier. We could go later if need be. However, our typical events are about 4 hours. So that's what we've seen works. We did put into consideration daylight savings time. Daylight savings time starts on the 10th. So we will have light longer. And then
On that daylight saving, I think this daylight savings is the last time it happens. Therefore, it doesn't change anything. There's no such thing as daylight savings Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Check into that and make sure I'm right on it.
okay,
I
okay.
just read that a couple of days ago.
all right,
Yeah. But check, verify it. if it's-
okay. But that time frame gives, your food opportunity for them to have a dinner served. 4 to 5 hours kind of helps with letting PD know, so they can, internal resources can start planning for this. The park, historical park staff yes.
The exact set date
That-
says, because I always say this, because the week before Carrollton Farmers Branch, well, everyone is on spring break the week before. So I'm looking at attendance wise. Like, would you have more people coming in on the 23rd, or would you have more people coming in on the 16th? Because everyone's not gonna be in school that week.
I think we'll
And it's on Sunday. That matters to him.
You know, we've seen lately with, you know, I think you go 6 one way, half dozen the other. I really do. We found that spring break, I mean, you ask a room of people, half will say I'm doing a staycation, half will say I'm leaving town. So I think we look at it this year, and if it's something, it was really looking at the events schedule, the department schedule, the availability of the historical park. We've got the event center will open around that time as well. So a lot of moving parts here, but that was the date that we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But we'll stick with the 20.
Did you say that Saturday? It's on Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's the 23rd.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'm okay.
No, it's a good point.
I plan my calendars out like 2 years. ahead. So-
Me too.
Anything else on the time?
Nope. You're up next.
So this is the next important topic. This is one that it's philosophy, it's strategy. Where does the event programming, activities, things of that nature, as an event like this, you can kind of look at five components to where things can be represented. It's performance, it's dance, it's music. The second would be food and beverage. Sampling of other cultures, food, that kind of along those lines. That would be your second. Your third would be cultural representation, a booth, demonstrations along those lines. Something, a group is in a tent. They're just there telling about their culture. The fourth would be a visual component. Maybe there's artwork on display from a country. There's something, Chinese lanterns. It could be anything that's just a visual that people are seeing as they walk in. There's no one talking about it, but it's just a visual. And the last would be like a marketplace component, where those that selling items that they're there, they have a business objective to participate in this event. So those are kind of the 5 areas of this event that we've kind of looking at, that different cultures would be represented and be there for others to look at. And this is kind of a philosophical question, as we have a lot of different cultures in Farmers Branch. Is this something where we try to be inclusive of all of them? It might be impossible to try and make sure every group is represented. I think we could spend months trying to figure out who all is here and represented fairly and accurately and correctly. I've seen some events where every year there's a country that's featured, and it just rotates every year. There's really no set rhyme. Council did not say, hey, we want it to be this way or that way. I think this is where the committee kind of says, hey, you know what? Maybe the first year we're just doing a representation of lots of culture. Yes.
So the way that they do that is they have like a stage area, and then they have all the booths set up. Obviously, this isn't the same thing. I'm getting to it. But so I know one of your things that was like you have the main entertainment stage. So you could have a variety of different cultural acts, who, be a part of that. Kind of have different people for different time slots.
Mhm.
And that represents, different cultures and different people and things like that. And then, you have different booths, different cultural booths for, whoever wants to do like the food and things like that. If you wanted veterans, if you wanted to, sell stuff from their culture, kind of have it spread out like that. Obviously not like Cottonwood Art Festival, but if you've ever been and know the layout, that's kind of, they have like the entertainment stage, and then they have the food area, and then they have all the different booths where you go and see a variety of artists' artwork and things like that. So you can kind of do like a setup like that, but I don't think that it would go over very well to just focus on one culture. Like you're saying, like, oh, just feature one country and things like that. I don't think that would go over very well, in my opinion. I think, since we're trying to do a variety of cultures and, diversity and things like that, if we kind of had the time slots and did things like that, that might just be an idea.
Maybe we can just let him continue with the agenda, and then once you put us in our subcommittees, we can figure out. How's that?
Yeah, the idea for the featured country would not be just that would be the only thing featured. It would be, you would have representation, but every year you might have, the primary would be either a continent or a culture or thing, but it would rotate. And that, again, that was just one strategy I've seen done at other events. But I do agree that having maybe the first year out of the gate, it is a combination. You have, because we're going to have a stage and as well as a performing dance floor where you can have dance groups going on and demonstrating, and then stage music, and it just kind of toggles back and forth, and you have activities throughout the park, and we'll kind of get to that in a second with the layout. But I think just having that consensus of if that's how we envision this, and it may, because if someone says, well, did you include all the cultures of Farmers Branch? Well, the answer is probably going to be probably not. I mean, there's just really no way to cover every culture in this community. There's just, you can't do it. We can do our best to, try and get groups that might want to participate, but we maybe do our best foot forward, but it's really going to be, the Polynesian dancers, followed by the Bavarian dancers, followed by dancers from another culture. I mean, you're just kind of representing and showing, again, that's just what we were kind of envisioning, but if that's what we're all thinking, that will help guide our committees, our subcommittees into how we are going to program this, and everything from food selection to decor and things of that nature. So that was kind of just that philosophical question, to the group. Is this what we think we want to do and how we want to move with this type of event?
Do you have more detail how many booths you're going to have and things like that?
We probably we could offer up to 30 to 40 because we'll get into this a little bit about details, what resources the city typically provides to those participants, a tent, table chairs, things like that. We have that because we like a consistent look with our event. So probably you're looking at 30 to 40. We don't want to get into renting. That's where your budget gets really skewed, but somewhere in there, which I think as a first year event is a pretty healthy representation of. If you had that many, I'd be happy. If we had 30 different cultures represented, I'd say that'd be a home run, but somewhere about in there.
On farmers, like to look at census. Is there a more detailed, because it's only like 4.
Yeah.
It's hard, and I got yeah.
It's because that census has gotten to be, how do you identify? And people can come up with, it was a great starting point, we thought, but
It quickly ended when we brought it to attention. We're like, there was just no way to get concrete data from it because people were identifying as all.
Okay.
Is there potential to do survey for at least 11 weeks or whatever? And so we can at least get the feedback from our residents and they can share.
We can see it.
I mean,
Jeff Brady.
we can try and put something together. But again, I guess here's the tricky part is when you say, well, yes, I'm of this culture, I'm of that background. Well, then does that person, one out of, of 30,000, what I would envision is there's a neighborhood, a resident, there's a dozen, 20, where there's a group where they can man that tent. They're organized in some way. If you've got one person that says, well, sure, I'm from this culture, I want to represent them, but at the end of the day, we can't do, it's hard to represent everyone.
We can lead to greater and bigger as the years go by. This is a great way to start.
Yeah, I think a survey would be, I'm from Ukraine. If you got one from Ukraine, then what do you do? Would you like to, then you're like, well, can you come and help volunteer? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. I guess what I'm saying.
Yes. On participation from our residents, how many responses we did back. Yeah, I was thinking that it's like we could at least get a feel, like say if we get a bunch back from a certain culture.
I mean, this gives us an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a huge idea.
And our population in the city is 40,000 by night. And so we're not Dallas, which we can look at like expanding to invite the Ukraine culture, the other cultures, because that's the Metroplex. But if we're going to focus on our culture, we're only a 40,000 population city and we're small. So we're not going to we may not have 30 representations. We may only have 10, and that's still a home run because of our population size.
But what we can do is put out a call as, the city has formed this committee. Here's the date, here are the times. We're looking for cultures that might want to be represented at the event through either a booth or through a presentation or through a demonstration or through some sort of performance. If you're of interest, please contact the Parks Department. And because we're in the programming and we want to hear from you. I think that way it kind of puts the onus on them. If you're interested, come let us know.
Sure.
Let us know because we'd love to have you and host you.
Yeah, the surveys are ridiculous. The trolls are just really ridiculous.
Well, we've had a lot of.
And I was also 3 or 2, they
Free.
pay for that. But in order to rent our table.
I think probably what we've discussed quickly is that for a group that's organized, and here's the thing, you kind of want a group that's organized, at least as, not saying they have a mailing address, but some group that's organized, that meets regularly. I think we would give them a table for free. Those that have a business interest, there to sell their goods, we'll probably structure a nominal booth fee. I don't know, couple $100 or something, but they obviously have a different goal there to sell items. There will probably be a fee for that. But I think for this first year, we've not really been, the council has not said this is a cost recovery type thing where we have to generate revenue. Certainly we want to try if we can find sponsorship, if we can, but it's not something that's, this is a moneymaker. No, but I don't see where we would charge a nonprofit group.
Years.
Yes.
This international festival will be Saturday, October 21st. Like 10 days from 2:45 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. So like, do we have the sort of some sort of idea, people want to know what kind of model or to follow or something?
Yes, that's what we do because and we'll get to kind of the committees will help define that when we get to those and have everyone that will serve on those. But yes, but to quickly say, there's a stage and there's going to be a dance floor, a performance floor. So you will have musical performances. You will have demonstrations on this stage. You will have booths set up around here with other demonstrations and groups. That's kind of what we're envisioning of this type event.
When you say demonstration, what is your vision on that?
If there's a culture, if there's someone that, making a pinata, how a pinata is made, how something within any culture is made, something that's indigenous to that culture that you would want to show others how this is made. It could be anything.
So on the survey, would it be more of asking individuals, what's your background versus, and then finding out what the majority is and then focusing on that?
Well, we're staying away from the survey.
Yeah, the survey.
You guys just thought that,
Yeah.
in the survey.
Well, okay,
Not so much to, hey, bring your group, more of what is Farmers Branch composed of, or what are your roots? So that's it, nothing about bringing in your group or anything, just to see what it is. And then let's say we do get representation and at least comes in with 20 countries, well, now you have 20 countries to work with versus starting from nothing, is what I was thinking. Would be an idea to do. It's not like you're asking them to be part of it. Let's just say, let's find what's out there. And then once we find out what's out there, then that's when you ask individuals, is anyone from this culture like to participate, to represent this country or region, or it's just gonna be very difficult because if you do South America, I mean, you have so many cultures in South.
I think this will probably all start once we do the committees. I think we should let you finish your agenda, and then once you do your committees, and I think it'll all start to sort of come to light.
Yeah, I think we
Hash it
can,
out.
because
And
this,
also, for those that have not worked with the city in the past, Jeff and his team organize the most amazing events. Like, this is not their first rodeo. These guys are second to none. So, yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
so I'm but yes, if I'm hearing how we get to that point and decide, but I think a broad representation then, and not focusing on a single country. How we get there, we'll get there, but not focusing, that helps a lot as we move forward.
And I think what we'll find too, as we move through the event, if someone was like, oh, I didn't know about this, I want to be involved, my country wasn't represented, then that will motivate them to be involved the next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this will be an event.
That is our plan. Yes.
We hope.
Could go to multi-day. It could, I mean, the sky's the limit with this. So I'm going to move right into, and we have taken the liberty because of the time of kind of coming up with some ideas, throwing around some names, our staff, kind of ideas for a logo, and I'm gonna let Sandy kind of bring that up a little bit.
Okay, so how many of you have been to an event at the historical park? Okay. Okay, so for those of you who haven't, I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead and have you look at your map. And I'm gonna tell you, we spent like a day sitting at the back table trying to, because we are short on time. And so we don't have a whole lot of time to decide, okay, what is the name, what is the logo gonna be? We've got to work on programming. And we sit around and try to come up with what would we like this to be called? And we had one was, we kind of laughed about this one, but we had one that was like Farmers Branch International Fest, but then we're like, that's like FBI. So we pretty much tabled that, put that one away. So what I want you to do, if you've been to the event, I want you to look and see where the event entrance is as you're coming down Ford Road. And I want you just to think about that coming through that gate. And then I want you to close your eyes. And then as you come in, I want you to envision, as you walk through, there are different flags that fall just on both sides of you coming down. And in the center, there could be some type of globe. And as you enter into the gateway, it's the gateway to the globe is what we envisioned the name being.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And we see as the logo, we see a sphere, probably with that name going around it. And more of a modern type of, not necessarily the continents, but more of a modern look to the inside of the globe to give that idea. And also we have Hoya coming on, which has the huge sphere in the park. So we're kind of playing on that as well. So that's kind of where we've landed as a team. And so far we've got a pretty good consensus that people seem to really like the idea. And that covers us too, in a sense of whether we're focusing on cultures within Farmers Branch or we're focusing on a broad range, or we're covering everyone because we're saying it's the gateway to the globe.
And where she's talking about, if you look at that screen, you can see this concrete pad where she had you close your eyes and envision you walking in. At other events, you've seen our patriotic flags, or you've seen that. So it would be right there walking in on that concrete pad.
So this is not something we would vote on, but what ideally is that we, going back to our city council, because they're going to be interested. What did y'all name this thing? What is it going to look like? We found that is their big interest, and we have the ability to funnel memos to them through our city management office. But one thing that we would want to be able to tell them is that the committee, the task force, was in agreement on this, and so it was a consensus that we kind of like this look. If that's the idea that what we're hearing, the wording that we come up with, we will have our graphic artists and team start developing something which we would send out. But I think the important thing is that we would present it to council saying, this is what the committee wants to put forth. And they tend to, not saying it's always that way, but they like to see that there was consensus and discussion about it. So again, it's not something we would vote on, but in the interest of time, we were just kind of wanting to get this going so that we could have something to present to y'all soon. But if y'all kind of like the idea, we'll run with it.
I love it. What about IFAM, International Fair and Market? FAM is in there, like FAM.
Yeah.
A little too corny. I couldn't sleep one night, and so I put together several pages and some of the ideas and things that I felt like the Holy Spirit gave me.
Okay.
So I'll just hand it to you because we don't need to go through it all, but it was really fun to, some of the things you already been saying, I've already written down, but this is very exciting. And I know we'll come up with, that's a great plan that you came up with. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll keep rolling with that then. Next item, next event details. How does this event get paid for? Well, the city council has appropriated funding for this. You see a budget that we have put together that's
Page 4.
Page 4, it's $35,000 is what the city has appropriated for this event. Based on our experience doing other events, we have already kind of divvied it up and broken it down into the areas that we know as a given for doing events like this, things like restrooms, stage sound and lighting. We know those are kind of some fixed costs. That's why we kind of started with that, knowing that that's what we're going to be into regardless. So that's where that 13,000 will take the bulk of that. But then these other items, entertainment, advertising, site decor, education demonstrations, this is what's fluid. This is where we will kind of sit down and start going, you know what? This first year that may move around. They're just numbers. They're just placeholders right now. But I do, probably the 13 is something we got to stick with just because that's what we know these things are going to cost us, golf carts, things of that nature. So these are just some starting points, but that just gives you an idea of the funding for this and how, fortunately, things like overtime and staff salary, PD, those are all from separate budgets. So this is strictly for this event, just so you know that the city is committing to this in year one. Again, the bottom four are just kind of placeholders right now. I am certain those will move around as we get into our committees and you know, things get freed up, funds can get kind of moved around, but that's how you see this event being funded. Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. But the way city government works, if Sandy handles our sponsorship, if you land a $20,000 sponsorship, title sponsorship, unfortunately, with accounting in cities, that doesn't mean the budget gets increased by 20,000. It goes into the general fund. I wish that was the way, because you could have a $100,000 event if we found a title sponsor, but it doesn't mean it goes right into but then
We get to recognize it.
we get to recognize, but I wish that was the case. So that's how that works. But yes, sponsorship is definitely doable for this type of event. City resources, what can you expect from the city?
So from the city, you can expect PD, first aid from the fire department, the parks department, staff, which would include our parks division as well as the special events team. And then we do rely on the other rec divisions to provide staff if needed to work gateways and things like that. So that's what you would see from a city resource perspective on staff. And then from the special events resources, we would provide all of the tents, tables, chairs, lights, and electricity, which is what we provide for all of our vendors at any given event. If you've been to our events, you see that we have the nice look where all the tents are white. It's taken a few years to get there, but that was one thing when Jeff came on, we wanted to have all white tents versus all kinds of colors. The only tents that we don't use that are not white is if it's a branded tent from a company, we do allow them to do that. But we would provide the white tent, the lights and the chairs and tables for them. And then electricity.
So site layout, on the map there, part of your packet, this is just kind of our introduction to you all that based on other events that we have done at that park, how we would envision this particular event being laid out. A couple things, Ford Road would not be utilized. If you've been to Independence Day, you've seen the food vendors. We're not there yet for this event in year one. So we were trying to concentrate everything within the park. The public would park at Metro Square, which is at 12300 Ford Road, which is south of there. It's about a 2-block walk. It's not a big undertaking. In the back there, you see staff and VIP parking. But this kind of gives you, and then of course the event center is being built as we speak, and that will not be a part of this year as far as us being able to program and use it, but that is as identified on your map there. So that just kind of gives you an idea, and Megan's going to talk a little more about what things are probably need to stay certain based on what we know about the park and things of that electricity and things of that nature, but.
Yes, and one more back to the city resources. If you have been to our events, you've seen that we have implemented the safety barricades, which is a huge passion project for me. And PD is going to be purchasing those barricades, so the city will have our own and we won't have to rent those anymore. But those will be on Ford Road, and it's just an anti-attack protective for the event site. So if a vehicle were to drive into the event site, the safety barricade would stop it and disable the vehicle. So you have seen those at our events, and you'll continue to see them at our events. And it's a big passion project for myself and our team. So then looking at the map, you will see the blue square rectangle and then the yellow performance floor. Those will stay where they are. And it's based on the location facing the south so that our amplified sound flies into the trees versus the neighborhood on Farmers Branch Lane. And then it's also in between two buildings or two structures at the park. And then it allows us to utilize the brick pathway as an entry and exit point for all of our vendors. So we would keep that closed just for vendors, hoping that we can, change out vendors every 30 minutes, 45 minutes on our stage and dance floor would allow for a lot of traffic to come in and out with our exit from the VIP lot, come down the brick pathway, park them correctly, and then have them funnel out after their event. Just allows for that to be controlled safely. And then you can't see it on the map, but the general store, it's right next to where the event center is located. That's also where the events team keeps, that's our headquarters. That's where all of our belongings are that we utilize for events and our staging area. So that just gives us another, central location to the stage and why we have the stage there.
It's like I say, this layout, other than the stage and that location being pretty much fixed because of power and aiming south, everything else, as you see in the meadow there, on the south side, on the east side there, the food, the activities, that's kind of what we have learned works for this event site. Obviously, if you look to the west, all that is open space. If we can maximize that and program that, wonderful. But I think keeping it somewhat condensed and feeling that a feeling of where it's just not a vast openness is going to be helpful. But this kind of gives you an idea as we go forward with our committees, how this event site will be pretty much laid out for the event. That's okay. So how will this event be marketed? Sandy.
Okay, so what we have found from a strategy perspective, especially when we're talking about limited funds, when you start looking at how much everything costs, the best bang for our buck we get from digital advertising. So we will be utilizing social media marketing, which we have a contractor that does that for us. We also have our internal marketing manager who will be covering anything that has to do with our print collateral. And then, as Jeff had mentioned earlier, we do have a contract graphic artist that works with us to help us design. Once we come up with what the overall theme is going to be, they'll put together the posters, the flyers, any kind of internal. If you have all seen the big, like the TVs that we have in the different areas within the community, and then we have the large screen that's actually outside of the Dallas Stars. So all of those will push out the information about the event. And then city resources themselves also will yard signs. You've probably seen those. We've done those from Denton Drive Live, as well as we'll push and ask elected officials to post and promote the event on their social media accounts. It'll be on the website, the newsletters. It'll go. And then as far as like participants from a marketing perspective is asking all of our food vendors or entertainment that we actually book, asking them to actually co-host or share it on their social media, as well as our sponsors. And then also where you guys come in as banking on you pushing it out as well and getting that, whether it's through your churches, civic organizations, your HOAs, wherever you're willing to go around and put signs out or put posters up in different locations. Because for us, it being a first year event, the biggest thing is going to be awareness. Because anytime it's a struggle in trying to actually get your event out there. Yes, sir.
Would you put it in the water bill?
Yes, it would go. Yes, I think that's part of the newsletter. The information would be in the water bill as well as the electronic newsletter that goes out. I think it goes out once, and then we also have a new newsletter that's events and culture that has all of our events in it as well.
Also the mayor puts out.
Sure. There's definitely a lot of city channels that we will take advantage of for this event.
Yeah. We'll be taking advantage of all of that. So from that perspective, that's where the majority of probably our advertising dollars will be focused on digital. Pushing out the information because we're not really in the position. Maybe if the event gets big enough, we'll get some TV exposure or something, but we'll see.
One day I'd love to have media partners.
This is an opportunity for TV exposure, actually.
Definitely.
Really a great opportunity.
Definitely. So it's just unfortunately we don't have the budget for print ads and radio spots and those kind of things yet. So digital is our primary, but it's a paid effort and then it's a community effort, which will involve city, grassroots level, but we'll kind of get to that on some of the committees. So we just felt it was important for you guys to understand the event, the process of the site, the budgeting, how this thing works, how it will be marketed, what you can expect from your city as we push this event and move forward with it. So that kind of wraps up our event details, just kind of that bird's eye view of, yes, sir.
All these books and texts. Is there also information for kids entertainment activities or farmers house or something like that?
You know, that would be something the programming committee, I mean, do we want those kind of activities, you know, where it's just kind of a paint face painters and balloon artists? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of we found that kids of all backgrounds love that kind of thing. Is that what we want to focus and feature at the event? I don't know. That would be something for the committee. I can tell you some of those things that can eat up your budget real quick on that. I mean, those balloon artists, how much an hour?
They can range between 95 to 175 an hour.
So it can.
So, and it depends, you know, like for our bigger events, Independence Day, Christmas, we hire 3 and 4 of each balloon artist and airbrush because we have a high attendance. So we want to funnel people through the lines quickly. So this event, maybe first year, you don't have 3 or 4, you have 2, but then you have a long line and you have people mad about the line. So it just kind of depends how we want to go, but we can go in either direction.
But a kids area is
Something for the kids.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll just be, what will it be? Will be the question.
Have to keep my 2-year-old entertained also.
All right, so that's going to kind of wrap up. Again, I don't mean to, there's a lot to discuss. I need to keep things rolling here. So event planning and goals. Obviously, we've got a short time frame here. A lot of the event planning will be through the committees with the staff liaison. That's just going to have to be our trust in one another, that decisions might have to get made, and the committees will report back here when we meet. But a lot of the planning, like I say, a lot of the things we've already done as far as renting and things of that nature, but it's just that's how a lot of this will go, through emails while on the committees and perhaps some Zoom meetings. But your subcommittees will be based on driving a lot of those decisions. I think we're just going to have to trust that we're going to make good decisions that reflect what the group desires. So that's kind of a quick overview of event planning. It's going to start real quick. So now we're up to the subcommittees, and we sent those out in that email identifying 5 critical ones that we feel are going to be needed to help get this thing rolling here. That would be the entertainment, which would cover everything from musical to performance groups. It would be educate, and that would be, I'm going to be the staff liaison for that. Sam will be over what we would call education demonstrations. And that would be anything from the groups that get a tent that are there just to showcase their culture. But she would be the staff liaison over that. And it's coming with suggestions and ideas on how to program that. And again, entertainment would include kids' activities, but that would be what that committee is there for. Hey, we've got $15,000. How's the best way to maximize that for this event? Sandy's going to take over community marketing. She handles a lot of that for our team for other events, so she's a natural for that. But if you're on that community marketing, she'll touch on the things that it's, you know, your HOAs, getting the word out within the community, that street level, that grassroots level of getting the words out in this community, of building awareness of, hey, this event is taking place. That's probably a community we could all serve on. I mean, all of us have you know, through our church, our kids' school, we all have resources available to us that can help us market the event. You know, we're printing up posters. Who can help us put up posters around in their community, around town, in their HOA? So there's opportunities there that we can't even think of that you guys would have access to. So that would be what the community marketing. Sandy will be heading up food and beverage. That will be, again, just coming up with ideas, suggestions on food. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit about this, because something has happened in the last month that will considerably affect food and beverage for this event.
So technically it was passed in May, but wasn't actually pushed down to September 1st. And Texas made new legislation that for Tarrant and Dallas County, all food trucks, which they refer to as MFUs, mobile food units, have to go through the county to get their permitting. So Farmers Branch no longer permits food trucks. So what that has caused is, honestly, for smaller people who don't do a whole lot of Dallas County permitting, they won't want to because of the cost associated. And so we've lost some vendors. And in addition to that, there's a long line at this point trying to get them approved because they didn't find out about it until last minute. And so we're actually scrambling right now to replace a lot of people for our Bloom and Bluegrass that's coming up right now. But what we found too is that Jeff's been to multiple events. We've been to events. You've probably been to events where you've probably seen a lot of things happening from a health perspective. That's not really the right way to do things. And so our city takes that very seriously. And so we want to make sure we're hiring professionals for the food. So we want to represent a variety of cultures when we bring these food trucks out, or if it's a concessionaire, which would be someone who'd work out of a tent, those are still being temporarily permitted by us, but not MFUs. So when it comes time, if you're interested in being on that committee, I like the concept and the idea of if you have a booth and you wanted to be able to share a taste of your country, the question is, how do we work through that with the health department? Because the biggest factor is keeping the public safe.
So I've seen some food operations at an event in Garland a couple months ago. I thought there's no way that would make it here in the branch. It would get permitted. It's just different cities have different philosophies. Ours is a very health-minded. Public safety is important, and it's just things have been thrown a little bit of a curve here lately, but we'll work through it. We will have what we can get. And
what that comes down to, guys, is a lot of times if you're out, like Jeff was just at an event, he was snapping pictures of every truck. So if you go to an event, you see a food truck, I may already know about it. I may not know about it. We found out about an ice cream bus that she literally is in Farmers Branch and she's never reached out about doing events. And we found her on Facebook. So sometimes we just have to find out. So if you wanted to be on that committee, it's making sure they'll fly through me to make sure that they get their Dallas County permit. So.
And the last committee is the decor design. You know, what is, as Sandy envisioned, you know, walking in, what is the look and feel of the event when you walk in? How does it represent these cultures, the globe, and things of that nature? So that is an important committee, and there's a little bit of a budget there. So those are the 5 subcommittees that really can be no more than 5 on there, because of if you have 6, then it becomes a walking agenda and you can't legally meet. So we're keeping them to 5. It doesn't have to be just those in this room. If you have others that you know of in your community and in your neighborhoods that would like to serve, they can serve on this.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be limited to just those in this room. So know that going in, but these are the 5 committees. And right now, just to kind of get things started, we have a couple people that could not be here tonight, but we're going to open up. And if you've got some committees you want to serve on, Megan's got the spreadsheet open
Ready.
right now. I see a lot of hands going up already.
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Okay.
Should we take an off of this door and entertainment?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mark.
Mark.
Be interested in the,
Oh, I'm sorry, the door, I'm sorry, with the door closing, I didn't hear it.
I'd be interested in community marketing.
Okay.
All right.
Entertainment.
Entertainment?
Oh, wait, hold
wait.
on, hold on.
How many?
Hold on. I'm at Mashir.
Food and beverage.
Okay. Monica,
Oh, I had, I'm sorry, my,
marketing.
I'll do decor in my.
Have we got, Alma Heschel's was on,
if you need
Entertainment.
people on educational and demos, I'm happy to, are we allowed to?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so-
I'm happy to serve on that since I don't see any.
Because I will tell you, one of the roles that will be a lot as far as like looking for, it's going to be our,
community market.
the market, like the marketplace or all the people who typically might want a space. That's gonna take a lot for us to
Staff.
manage.
I'm happy.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, so we're closed with community marketing. We have 4 plus staff makes 5. Entertainment is closed, staff makes 5, so but we have in discussion.
For discussion, yeah.
In the email thing.
Oh, because they're on.
But they can discuss to peers not
Just
on
so
the
we can-
community.
Just because we can reiterate that since you're on task force, So in order for us to meet, there has to be at least 6 of you, right, for a quorum. So what that means, if you all have each other's phone numbers and y'all want to communicate with each other, or meet, you cannot have more than 6 of you. There's 6 or 5, more than 6, right? 6. More than 6, because then you're considered a walking quorum.
So it needs to be 5 and under.
So that's why we have to limit it to you, to not how many
It's gotta
you
be
can
5,
add,
not
not how many
6.
you could add to your committee, but of you on the committee. There can't be more because that would make you a walking quorum.
Okay, has everyone gotten their choices in? And you can add more if you like. Or others, not just bound to the one. Okay. We good there?
Anyone want to join anything else?
Going once?
It will never close. You can join anything.
Okay. So that is the,
Jana?
Oh.
She joined, education and demonstration.
Oh, great. Okay.
oh, great. We're moving along here. So that is B5. We're going to jump right into B6. We have 2 officer elections that for this type of task force. One would be the vice chair and the other would be the secretary. Vice chair would be assisting with running the meetings. It would be a great community ambassador. If I was not able to speak, if there are speaking engagements, if we have to present to city council, you would be there with me presenting. They may ask for an update in a couple months. So the vice chair is just helping with setting the agenda and with helping me run the meeting. And the secretary is there to record the notes. And then those notes get turned over to Sandy to be,
put in the correct format that has to be given to city council. So
and then the following meeting, we would vote on approving the agenda or approving the minutes from the previous meeting. So we've got 2 opportunities here. This is what you guys will be voting on amongst yourselves. So does anyone have interest? We'll start with the vice chair first. Does anyone have any interest in serving in that role?
I want to nominate Quinn too. Oh, both, oh, look at here. There you
So
go.
we have,
So, okay,
Done.
I'm sorry. I missed. You want to,
I'd be interested in.
Okay.
Vice chair.
Do you mind, repeating what vice chair does?
it's assisting with running the meeting. And then again, we're going to learn as we go here. What that really looks like, I'm not really sure yet, but it's there in a number 2 capacity, helping with setting the meeting agenda. Keeping the committees on task, on point kind of thing. I think that's going to be probably critical because I don't have time to, keep following up and making sure everything is rolling. Yes, we have a staff liaison, but that would be helpful. There's an opportunity to present with city council. It would be both of us presenting an update to the council. Perhaps there's an ambassador opportunity in the community where the chamber wants us to speak about this new event. Perhaps this person would take on that role. Just kind of helping run that in a leadership role, making sure the committee is all showing, okay, guys, we're all going to, be here at 11 a.m. for the day of the event. Everybody check in at this time, making sure that y'all get fed. I mean, we're that kind of role. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have Elizabeth and Monica.
I'll put my name down.
Okay, Quinn. So everyone gets, is that it? The 3? No, just the 3 names? Okay.
okay,
So each of you get 1 vote. So at this time, and it's just going to be a show of hands.
that's a whole.
I'm sorry, this is kind of how we were explaining, this is how we needed, our city secretary said, it's like, how do we do this?
You're right.
We had to get the education today. How does this work exactly? So we do not get to vote. Staff does not vote. You vote amongst yourself. You get 1 vote. Yes, you can vote for yourself. So I'm going to start with all in favor of Elizabeth. Raise your hand, please. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
oh, sorry.
All in favor of Monica? Wait, got 2? Rafi? 3. We have 3. And all in favor of Quinn?
2, 3,
Wait, we can't vote twice now.
2.
The twice.
No, you can only vote once. You can only vote once.
So Jenny voted
Okay.
for Quinn.
So Elizabeth, you are the vice chair this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and I need a motion to accept Elizabeth Villafranca as this year's vice chair.
I move.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next position, secretary. Anyone like to run for secretary? Not everybody at once now. Okay. Hannah, anyone else?
Could you please explain what that entails?
Sandy can probably explain that.
So basically what you're doing is you're minuting the meeting. So you're gonna be keeping track of notes, what's being said. It doesn't have to be, I'm a very overly detailed person. That's why I say when you give it to me, it might be from the minutes that we all discuss a lot of things, but mainly taking care of who just motioned, who seconded, how are the votes, those type of things, those action items have to be documented. So that's what you would be doing in the meeting, and then you would send them to me, and then I would put them in the proper format to go to the city secretary.
Is there anyone else?
Anyone else?
Just the one?
Looks like it's Anna.
Okay, I think, let's just all vote so we can say we officially voted. All those in favor of Anna, please raise your hands.
Aye.
All right, it passes. At this time, I need a motion to accept. Last name,
Buford.
Anna Buford as our secretary. I need a motion to accept Anna Buford as our secretary.
I move.
Okay, Al.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It passes. Congratulations, secretary. Woo-hoo. All right. Okay, last item, discuss future agenda items. What you can expect from us at this point. We will be contacting you on your respective committees because we got to get rolling. We are going to start working on this logo concept with our graphic artists and get that going. We'll be reporting back to our city manager on the results of tonight's meeting. And we will start probably yes, sir.
I have a question. Is the city council, any of the city council members really sponsoring this, or is this a joint city council effort?
It is a joint effort. This was voted by the council back in February, I believe, to move forward with this. And we've been kind of conceptually putting together a budget, which was just adopted. So yes, it is a joint effort to put this to reality. All right. And what I anticipate is the bulk of our agenda moving forward is committee updates and keeping you guys abreast of what is decisions that have been made, things that have been confirmed. And that is what I consider to be the bulk of how we will conduct our future meetings.
The next meeting. Second Monday or second Tuesday?
Monday.
We will send out a new schedule. We also have the PowerPoint that was asked to see that as well. We'll send that out. If there's no other future agenda items that you guys want to put on, does anyone want to add? Yes, sir.
I move we adjourn.
I need a second. All right. Meeting is now adjourned.